there, and welcome back to another video. So today I thought it'd be interesting, as you can see by the title, to see what would happen if the electorate was R+20. So in every state, it swung 20 points to the right in 2024. So I think it's a pretty interesting topic, and let's get right into it. So we're going to fill in all the safe Republican states. Obviously, these states would be like 80% in support of the Republicans, as would Nebraska's second. The entire Deep South. Florida would actually be there. North and South Carolina. Ohio would be safe, as would Iowa, Alaska, and actually Arizona and Nevada would be safe by about Arizona by about 19 and Nevada by about 18 or so. We'd also have the Rust Belt would be safe by about 13 to 15. Maybe no less than that, like 16, 17 points. Minnesota, Maine would actually be, all of Maine would be safe by about 11 points. And New Hampshire would be by about 14. Would be won by the Republicans by about 14 points, and I believe that is it. So these are all the safe Republican states if the electorate swung 20 points to the right. Obviously, already they outperformed Trump in 2016. But we're going to fill in the states that would still go Democrat. And no surprise, we have the states of California, Massachusetts, Maryland, the District of Columbia, and Vermont. And I believe that is it. So the Democrats would only have 81 safe states if the electorate swung 20 points to the right. However, and there would be some likely R states. We would have the state of Virginia would be likely. The Republican would win it by just more than 10%, which actually would be safe with my margins. So I apologize for that. Virginia would be safe in this scenario with my margins. Meanwhile, New Mexico would be won by 9 points, and Colorado would be won by 7, so they'd both be in the likely column. We only have one likely Democrat state, and that is the state of Hawaii. It would be won by the Democrat by about 9%, so barely barely likely, but still less than 10%. We have a bunch of lean R states, and including the state of Oregon, which will be won by the Republican by about 4%. Illinois, which will be won by the Republican by about 3%. New Jersey, I was surprised New Jersey was about almost 5%. The Republicans would win it in New Jersey by about almost 5%. And Delaware, which we're assuming would be Joe Biden's on the ticket, would also be won by a lean margin, but only about 1%. And I thought Delaware would be, they say Delaware is gonna, be the next swing state, but the Democrats still won it by 20 points, even with, I know Joe Biden was on the ticket, so obviously that helped them, but still, interesting that it would just barely go red if the electorate swung 20 points to the right. And I forgot to add Georgia as a safe state. Can't believe I did that. So we actually have 402 Republican electoral votes. It's 85 Democrat, but don't worry, the Democrats, they still get some stuff. They're not out yet. They would win New York by a lean margin. That is their only lean state, is New York. And so we have 402 to 113, looking like a Ronald Reagan map. And then there is a tilt R state, and that is the state of Washington. It would be the Republicans would win it by about 0.8%. It would be pretty close, but still, the Republicans would win it, so good for them. And we have a bunch of tilt Democrat states. This surprised me. The state of Rhode Island would tilt to the Democrat by about 0.9%. Meanwhile, Connecticut would actually be the closest state in this election, as the Democratic nominee would win Connecticut by 0.1%. So Connecticut would be incredibly close. It would be by far the closest state in this election. But with that, I think we should just take a look at this map and see if the electorate swung 20 points to the right. California, Maryland, Massachusetts, and Vermont and D.C. would pretty much remain untouched. Hawaii would barely get touched. But you look at the Rust Belt, the Deep South, the Southwest, Arizona, Nevada, the way northeast, Maine, and New Hampshire, those are all safe red. And I mean, some of these really Republican states this election, like maybe Alabama, Kentucky, West Virginia, the Republican would win there by 80-90% in this scenario, which is kind of crazy to think about. So I'm assuming in the popular vote, it would also be about a 20% win or so. This is a really cool map. Look, this would be a complete landslide, and we'll probably never see anything like this. But still, I think it's interesting to look at. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.